Welcome to part 2 of All It Took Was One Book for Lee Davy to Quit Drinking. But I am Lee Davy. I am not an alcoholic. I am not anonymous. I am someone who doesn't drink alcohol and spend every waking moment of my life helping other people do the same. Like right now. Boof, boof, boof. Okay, let's get into this quickly because my dear wife downstairs is making me some dinner and I need to go down and say a prayer and scoff it down me, okay? So I'm going to talk to you about the next 4 books in my sequence of books that help me become someone who doesn't drink alcohol, but more importantly, live a conscious life. Because who wants to be a miserable bastard who doesn't drink alcohol, right? You might as well drink alcohol, okay? So here are the next 4 books. Book number 1, Feeling Good Together by David Burns. Actually, David Burns is the only one who appears on my list with more than 1 book, okay? David Burns, genius, the Gandalf of cognitive behavioral therapy. The reason Feeling Good Together was so important to me is he gave me a framework on how to deal with relationships, communication, most importantly, conflict. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. If you want to live a conscious life, if you want to stop drinking alcohol, then you've got to increase your relational literacy, right? If you cannot communicate with yourself effectively or those around you that you love, you will be living in a world of hurt, right? So the 5 secrets of effective communication: thought empathy, feeling empathy, finding a grain of truth from what the other person says, stroking and learning to express your feelings. Super duper important to reduce the anxiety in your life caused by this inability to communicate with ourselves and other people from a place of consciousness. Feeling Good Together by David Burns. Book number 2, A Species in Denial by Jeremy Griffith. Woo! This book is massive. It's a whopper. Who needs guns in the house, right? Get rid of your guns. You could just have these big books, and if a burglar comes in, you can lob it at their head and it'll knock them out, right? Jeremy Griffith's 3 really important points in my development of being someone that doesn't drink alcohol in A Species of Denial. He also has another book called Freedom, but Freedom and Species of Denial are very, very similar. I would just go with Species of Denial, right? First one, Plato's allegory of the cave. Yeah, that was the Republic. That wasn't Jeremy Griffith. But the fact that he raised it in A Species of Denial was really important to me. That allegory really allowed me to make sense of what I viewed as my life prior to me becoming someone who doesn't drink alcohol. I was a zombie. I was a puppet. For some reason, I and my actions was being guided by external sources, and I was blind to it. I was deaf to it. I was mute to it. I was a sheep following the flock. And understanding Plato's allegory of the cave helped me to see the light, no pun intended, right? Second thing that Griffith taught me that was massively important was the role of the death effect. How on earth is it possible that alcohol can kill 3.3 million people a year, can be the causal factor in over 200 illnesses and diseases? It can wreak so much havoc around the world, yet everybody fucking loves it, right? That is the death effect. Really important concept for me to understand, okay? Third one was resignation. It's a theory that Griffith has that when we were in our teenage years, okay, when we were still all of love and light and we wanted to really do our own thing, we wanted to play, we wanted to have fun, we wanted to have our own autonomy. The tribe came along and said, you can't have that autonomy. If you want to join the tribe, which you have to do, otherwise you will dissolve and die, these are the things you have to do. You have to drink too young. You have to take drugs too young. You have to take too much risk too young. You have to have sex too young. And we resign to that fate. We sell our soul to the devil and we just follow the tribe, okay? Resignation, really, really crucial, important point. Third book that I want to talk to you about, Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs and Wear Cows by Melanie Joy. This is where Melanie Joy really helped me to get my thoughts and my thoughts and my feelings around how I'd become someone who doesn't drink alcohol and put a framework around it. Melanie Joy asked the question, why is it that people in the world eat meat and don't even think about it? How does that happen when, if you think about it logically and rationally, in order to do that, we kill billions of animals a week in order to feed the 7.8 billion people that live on this planet? And if you have ever been to a slaughterhouse or watched a documentary such as Earthlings, for example, you know that it is a pretty horrific process. Yet we don't see it. Why? Well, Melanie Joy said the reason we don't see it is there is this invisible, violent, dominant belief system called carnism. And I was like, holy cow, her framework on carnism is the same framework that we are kind of like under the thumb with when it comes to alcohol. Alcohol is also part of an invisible, violent, and dominant belief system, but it doesn't have a name. So I gave it a name. I called it alcoholism, and it is central to our teachings at 1000 Days Sober, okay? Book This is Marketing by Seth Godin. What on earth does a marketing book have to do with being someone who doesn't drink alcohol and living a conscious life? Well, it's all to do with status. It was Seth Godin that got me to see that when it's about marketing, everything that a human being buys is a result of status. They want to increase their status or they want to maintain their status quo. In very, very special circumstances, we may want to decrease our status. I was reading this book thinking to myself, that is the same when it comes to addiction. We want to drink alcohol because we want to maintain our status in the group. When we start out drinking, we want to increase our status to enter a new tribe. Some of us who are full of pain and suffering, and we have now identified with that pain and suffering, and people look at us and go, oh, poor Lee, he's got a real problem with alcohol, etc., etc. We keep drinking because we want to lower our status, because if we don't, nobody will ever recognize us. So status and understanding status is super important in terms of how we are thinking and feeling around our status hierarchy. Are we coming from a place of internal love, or are we coming from a place in need of external validation? Super important when it comes to conscious living. So there you are. 4 more books in this 4-part series. Feeling Good Together by David Burns. Species Are in Denial by Jeremy Griffith. Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs and Wear Cows by Melanie Joy. And This is Marketing by Seth Godin. All of these books, by the way, all merged together with a lot of other books and a lot of other kind of coaching squeezed into the Strive Method for Addiction and Connection, Cultivating Conscious Relationships. Our 2 workshops here at 1000 Days Sober. You want to learn more about it? Stick a note, yeah, down below, and we'll be in touch with you, and we will tell you how to get onto those wonderful workshops. Right, I'm going to go off, eat that dinner. I'll see you in part 3. Take care.